Welcome to the Old-Fashioned Three. They've been around basketball from the Big Dipper to the Greek Freak, from Russell Celtics to Curry's Warriors, from Peach Baskets to Paolo Banchero. Here are Whitey Gleason, Phantom, and Jerry Reynolds.
Yes, that was that cat, all right.
Yeah, welcome back to the Old-Fashioned Three, or as I like to call it, the Jerry Reynolds Show. Phantom, Whitey Gleason here. It's the first time we've done an Old-Fashioned Three since your birthday, so that's quite a blowout, I guess.
Yeah,
huh?
I think the last episode you said next time we're going to have the review of the birthday party. Then we didn't do another show.
Yeah.
So people are at home going, that must have been one hell of a party, and it kind of was.
It was. It was a fabulous party. It certainly, really everybody showed a lot of love to you, and
they had to. That was the price of admission, Jerry.
And respect. And you made a wonderful speech that was damn near average or mediocre, but
only done because you made me. So there you go.
That was my daughter Lonnie's favorite part of the whole thing is when you went up to him after he did his speech and you said that was damn near mediocre. She loved that. Yeah.
I felt like that was a compliment. So that just shows the bar you've set.
I try and be, lay it out there. How it was.
You gave it to me straight, Jerry, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. So Phantom's been recovering.
It's
from
been
that.
tough.
And then he had a back injury.
Yes.
That new year has been really tough for me so far.
So let me ask you this: with a back injury, can you not talk?
No, I can't make it.
Oh, okay.
I can't make it. You'll see this. You'll see this.
He's wondering why we haven't.
He'll unfold over the next couple. Well,
a little confused. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I had to get in the car to get over here, and that was a problem.
Oh.
Yeah. See, that's a problem. Yeah, I can still talk. I was talking at home.
Yeah, I bet you were.
Yeah. Not entertaining there either. So there you go.
I hate to start with this. Well, I shouldn't say that because maybe you guys will love this. I just heard on the way over. I talked to Jerry about it in the car show, of course, which was really.
You're still doing the car show?
Well, we got to go on a little bit.
Oh, we haven't missed an episode.
I subscribe and I haven't been getting the alerts.
I just heard today this is out of Boston and it's a developing story. It's not confirmed yet, but it looks like you got Jeff Van Gundy out of ESPN as the analyst.
Yes.
You got Mark Jackson out as the analyst for the NBA games.
Oh,
it looks like there's a lot of reason now to think that in for them will be Doc Rivers and Doris Burke. What do you think? Your top team, Mike Breen and Doc Rivers.
So Mike Breen, Doc Rivers, and Doris Burke.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your top announcing crew.
Well, I liked Stan. I liked Jeff. So I mean,
me too.
Me too. But Doris Burke is good. And Doc Rivers, I know that was the word ever since he was let go from the team. They said, "Well, this is going to go back into TV. We love him at TV." So maybe that's what they were doing all along. I think it's kind of like staying in the same place, kind of treading water.
Well, I just don't like a three-man booth in basketball. I think it's just too much. There's too much talking and there's a lot of action where you don't need a lot of talking.
Now, do you think they did three men on that because of Jackson and Van Gundy they have kind of
they
the
might,
relationship?
But they shouldn't. They were better when it's Jeff Van Gundy without Mark Jackson.
Well, they do that a lot on the Friday night games. They just have two. Yeah.
No, and I mean, we were talking about my opinion, and I really feel strongly about this. Look, when football has one color analyst,
so they have,
and they got 10 times more time to talk.
Yeah.
And they need, and bring up things. And here basketball, when there's very little dead air time comparatively, and then you got two analysts, which just everybody thinks they got to have something to say each time.
Right.
And I know, having worked in a three-man booth a little bit, it just doesn't work very well. Of course, my experience primarily was with Bill Walton.
Enough said, Jerry.
Who you love, and you love the documentary.
Yeah, and I did some with Doug Christie, who's terrific. But I mean, Bill's terrific. But there's no way you have a three-man booth with Bill. You really just need a one-man.
All you need is one guy once in a while to say, "Hey, there's a basket," and then let Bill go.
Yeah.
Do you think three's too many for a podcast?
I've been
old-fashioned two.
That's just a question.
It's crossed my mind. You know what I'm saying?
It's crossed mine too.
Of course.
Are we going to do a secret vote over who's the one out? I got a feeling the car show is going to go national now.
I just would rather have analysts there. I'd rather have people that played NBA basketball. I mean, it's not just, Doris Burke, she's a woman. No, but she is. But if you had a guy who,
said no,
can you say that anymore?
Doris Burke's a woman. No, she's not. What?
What I'm saying is, if you had, say, Michael Wilbon as an analyst, I'd be, get him out of there. I want somebody who played. There's a ton of guys that played in the NBA that would love the job, that are capable of doing it, and I think they're best suited to give analysis of what's going on. Coaches too. People who coached in the league, of course, same thing. Sometimes they're better. But Doris Burke didn't play, just like Michael Wilbon, whomever. Why can't you get people who played in the league to be analysts? That used to be unthinkable that you would not do that.
Yeah, no, it's really, I don't know, it's kind of part of the political correctness stuff. I mean,
Maybe.
Let's face it, to a degree. But then again, of course, just not everybody who played would be good. I mean,
Right, of course.
Like Kendrick Perkins comes to mind.
Reggie Miller, yeah.
Yes, that's true as well.
But I mean, Jim Jackson, I think is just terrific. Fantastic. I mean, I think J.J. Redick
and Doris Burke's really good.
Well,
She's
she
good,
knows her
but
stuff.
Yeah,
She knows her stuff. But it just doesn't have the same weight as say, a Jim Jackson saying the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think that's just.
Yeah, I like Doris. I like Doris Burke.
I'd like
I listened
to,
to her.
yeah.
Now she played at some level of something.
Oh, she was a good college player.
She was
She
a
played
coach.
at some level of something.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm trying to say. It sounded like you said, well, we got to get a woman in here. Doris, come on in here and sit down. But she has chops. I mean, she's played the game. I mean, her analysis.
She just hasn't played in the NBA.
Yeah. So only NBA players now can be analysts then?
Well, I think
Or
that should
coaches,
be because
or
you have
coaches.
plenty to choose from, and you're right. There are many guys who played basketball professionally who are not as good at it as Doris Burke. I get that,
Right.
but I think
my
there are
point,
guys who are
yeah.
more qualified who are just as good as Doris Burke, and I'd like to see them on the featured game, especially like the NBA Finals Game 7. That's all. That's all.
I'd take it a step further. Too.
Yes.
I'd like to see more NBA officials who played in the NBA.
Wow, that's a tough one. Though, 'cause
former players-
Those guys have enough coin. They don't have to go to be referees.
Well,
They're not all Leon Wood, right?
not all. No, it definitely.
Bernie Fryer, baby.
But
There you go, Bernie.
But they're making. The good ones are making $250,000 now. And let me explain it to you, Mr. Phantom, as best I can.
I used
is
to be
that
Mr. Basketball.
say when said basketball player has been out of the game for 6-7 years, and he notices paychecks really aren't.
They don't come as often as they used to.
Yeah, and the missus, former NBA player, probably says,
Is
are
she
you going to
spending
do
the same
anything?
way? She's spending the same way as when he was playing.
That will not change one iota.
Thank you, Jay.
Yeah.
Thank you for scheduling.
Did you hear the story?
Schooling me on that.
Christian Wood is still available, which is kind of curious. We could do a whole pod on that. Why is Christian Wood still available? But it turns out this has nothing to do with why he's available. But looking into it, I found that when he was undrafted, and apparently his girlfriend broke up with him. You're undrafted. And he ended up signing,
Can I just say props to her,
really?
though?
Really?
Because, I mean,
he
she knew what she wanted.
He signed
Yeah.
a huge deal, and he put up some real numbers, but apparently she's like, you didn't get drafted? Well,
Now he's not
moving
signing.
on. I'm going to find a draft.
Yeah.
Somebody's drafted.
Now,
Yeah.
Did he have a girlfriend when he signed the big contract, and now she said goodbye, too? 'cause
I
he's
don't
not
know
being
about
signed?
that. I don't know about that. Yeah.
I respect her. I thought you were going to be an NBA player, dude.
You have to have your standards, whatever they are, right?
I only date NBA players. You're not drafted.
This was
See you
part
later.
of the deal. I didn't say anything because I thought you'd be drafted.
Well, that's kind of like that show Basketball Wives on one of the
Yeah.
things. It's always interesting to me because I wasted some of my life to watch a little of it, and not a single female there actually is married to a basketball player. They may have been
At
for a
one
while,
time,
at one
yeah,
time
yeah.
in their life, or lived
The
with
basketball
somebody.
wives.
or known somebody who was. Yeah.
I used to hang around with somebody, made a lot of money, and I still think I'm entitled.
Well, speaking of free agency, Coach, did the Kings do enough to get to where they want to get to this year? When all is said and done, we have free agencies mostly done. There's still a few players out there. The draft, you got some signings here. Have they done enough?
Well, I think they've done a good job. I mean, I think stability is important. They had a good team. They have reason to think they could be better. They added Vesnikov, and I think that's a legitimate player. Is it enough to beat the Denver Nuggets? No, I don't think it is. But then again, why would you expect that, or should you expect that type thing? But
are they better? Well, we'll see.
Are they
but you
better?
feel like, hey, this Ross, whoa, that's a better team right now.
I think they are. I think they are better because of primarily Keegan Murray, I think is legitimately got a chance to be the third best player in his second year. And as you know, on the radio show, I said, and I've gotten a little bit of kickback, but not from anybody that's actually studied the stats, that Keegan as a rookie was significantly better than Peja Stojakovic or Hedo Turkoglu were. In fact, his rookie numbers with the Kings, and on a better team, by the way, were better than Page's in his second year.
Okay.
So I mean, I think it's, and I'm not knocking
Who's pushed
Peja.
back on you for that?
Who would
I'll
say
speak
that
to
to
that?
you?
Well, well, I won't go into it, but they, they remember
tell us
Peja
later.
about his,
of course.
they remember
Yeah.
when Peja was in his prime, and that's right. Will Keegan ever be that good? No, I'd say there's a chance he won't, but you can't say he won't. Well, I mean, he's done what he's done, and certainly in the summer league, it certainly appears that he's ready for a bigger role.
Yeah.
And so that in itself should make a difference, and Vesnikov should make a difference. The key guys are still there. Barnes, I thought, signed for a very good deal for the Kings, and those that wanted the Kings to get somebody better. It's like, well, okay, who? And
What did you think of their offseason?
Well,
were you one of those people that Jerry's talking about?
No,
Were you
I
sitting there
was
going,
not.
Kuzma.
No, I was.
Were you a Kuzma guy?
No, I was not a Kuzma guy. I was kind of a Johnson guy in a way, but I think that they had a plan. I don't think they ever really wanted those guys. I think they had a plan from the beginning that this is what they want to do, to grow from within and to say that we're going to get better from Keegan Murray. We're going to grab a couple of guys. We got Duarte, we got Vesnikov coming in, but we're also going to get maybe Kevin Huerter plays better the second half of the season. Obviously, Sabonis and Fox were great. They can still get better. I think that's what their plan was always to do that, and they were flirting with these other names that we heard. I don't know if they were really committed to going after those guys or just going, hey, so many years the Kings were so bad, we just go, have an idea what you want to do. Go ahead and have a plan. And it seems that Monty and his people really have a plan. And at the end of it, looking back on it, I said, I think that's what they wanted to do the whole time, and they went out and they did it. So, I mean, a team that has a plan and went out and went ahead and converted, I think that's all you can really ask for.
Talking about Cam Johnson?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
he was really the only guy of those that I thought might be there, and he was a little bit more expensive. But
it looked like Detroit was interested based on what was reported. Who knows?
Yeah.
But then the Nets just said, look, they gave him a really big deal.
Yeah, exactly.
And they could match anybody's offer anyway, so I don't think there was anything there. There was no.
Yeah. Right. And I think that counting on Keegan Murray to get that much better, and the other guys like we talked about, I think it's you can see where they would say, all right, we have the pieces in place, we add a little bit, and those people get better. I don't know that, to your point, it doesn't make you the Nuggets, but you're gonna have to play better, I think, just to stay in place in the West, because other teams have improved and they're all going to be healthier than they were last year, we think. So you're going to have to get better just to stay the same. So I think that's what they did.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we talked about it a little bit, is like, okay, they might win the same number of games and be sixth, lower and still be better.
Yeah. Or win more games and still not be third, because 53 may not get you third this year.
You there. Yeah. And so no, I think they've got a great plan. I really do. I think Monty and his staff and Coach Brown, I mean, it's hard to fault anything. It's like, you might have liked Jeremy Grant, or you might have liked Anunoby.
Yeah.
It's like, if you want to pay $160 million for Grant, please explain how that makes you a lot better, other than you got another guy that can get a lot of empty stats if you need them.
I agree. Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to get this is going to be odd, more simple-minded when it comes to these transactions. Like
that shouldn't be hard.
No, more simple-minded. Jeremy Grant, 5 years, $160 million. That's way too much. It doesn't matter. He's on the team now, and that's what you have to look at. They have Jeremy Grant on their team. Now, what do you do with him? And if you trade, you make a trade. Well, we gave up this guy. Doesn't matter. Who do you have on your team now? I'm trying to make it more simple. So I have to worry about how much money, because it's not my money. Some of it could be, but it's not my money.
But you have to, now you have to take into account
I understand.
What else you can do. And
I understand. And the one that really freaked me out is, like, they talk about going into free agency. Well, there's a couple teams, they have no money. They spent all their money on 4 guys. They have $8 left for the rest of their roster. And like the Suns, they did that, and they went out, and you can see they were nipping around the margins, adding some pretty good pieces. But then the Lakers come to the table. I go, well, they have no money. They can't sign anybody. And they signed Prince, I think, for the mid-level exception.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's all they can do. They have no money. And then they throw $33 million at Gabe Vincent.
Gabe Vincent.
I said, well, where'd they get that money? You told me they have no money, and they come up with $33 million.
Well, as you know, with the salary cap is interesting because you have the cap and the hard cap and different tier, but then you have the mid-level and the
Bird,
so
right?
basically, Bird, you got all these
exceptions.
things
Yeah.
and the exceptions.
So don't tell me before it starts that these guys have no way of doing this, because there's 17 different ways they can do it, and everybody's
Who told you that? We'll talk to him.
The media.
Oh,
The
okay,
media.
yeah.
Radio personalities. A lot of radio personalities say that. And then all of a sudden they come out and go, well, we can spend $30 million on Gabe Vincent. Great for Gabe Vincent, but it just isn't the narrative that I was
Yeah.
No,
put forward.
it is amazing how, and then like you mentioned the Suns. Well, once you've got a pretty good balance, some guys who are out there who aren't getting a lot of attention, will take less money to go get on a better team. And now the Kings didn't really probably weren't able to take advantage of that this year, but really, as time goes, they will. I mean, the Kings of the past in the early 2000s, they were able to pick up some guys like that.
Exactly, absolutely.
Because they were saying, well, if I'm going to make $2 million, I'd just soon make 1.5 and play for these guys.
Yeah.
Win 60 games, yeah.
But the one, and I know some fans say, well, all these players should know that the Kings are the greatest thing since sliced. Well, no, they don't.
No, they're not aware of that on a national level
Not
yet.
yet. Not yet. And I think they will. Another year.
Again, it's a plan. It's a process.
Yes.
And you have to grow from within.
So two things I think we all agree on. Let me double check. One of the reasons the Kings are happy with their offseason is because they think Keegan Murray can become that star caliber player that a lot of people hope they'd get in free agency. Right? So we have that guy, hopefully. The other thing, too, is I think we all agree the in-season tournament, huh?
Oh, absolutely. I don't see. And I'll tell you something.
It's coming.
It's coming, and it's going to be good for the Kings because they're playing. If you see they have San Antonio, right?
In their group?
Yeah. Victor's not going to be ready to play by that time. It's early in the season. He's going to still be finding his legs. Nail that one down. So there's a couple other teams. I think it's really good for the Kings. I'm looking forward to this. Hang the banner, baby.
I know. I think last summer we talked about this, and you guys weren't big fans.
No, we were not big fans.
We are, and it's like it's coming, man. It's
But it'll be done before the season really starts. No one pays attention till Christmas. It's done. Beginning of December?
December 9th is the.
We're going to look back and go, oh, it was already over. Who won the tournament?
Yeah, it might be fun. Like I say, I'm one of those people against the play-in, and now I really like it. But my feeling is it's going to be kind of like the college Christmas tournaments to where
the Maui Invitational.
I mean, somebody wins, and being the year you don't know who.
That's right. That's
it doesn't matter who wins it. Yeah, you don't know.
Like if Kentucky is bounced out of the Final Four, they don't go, but we won the Christmas Classic in Anaheim, so
got our medals, got our nice medals. There you go.
Yeah, no, I just think, I think knowing the NBA, how they'll probably try to promote it is that they'll have championship rings and banners and trophies.
They have the NBA Cup.
Early in the season, they'll say, hey, this is a tournament game. Because you won't know until you look at the schedule which games are in the tournament and which aren't.
So I think on some nights they're going to be all tournament games.
Oh, that's going to be. I hope that's got all
if
those
your
things.
team
We got
won,
8 screens.
Whoever you are, whatever team you're running,
Okay.
if you win, do you put the banner up?
No,
in your
absolutely
building,
not.
in
No.
your arena?
I sure
way.
hope not. I
No.
sure hope
But
not.
would you? Would you
No.
put it up?
No, I would.
I'd put it up in my locker room or something like that. Have it up by the shower or something. Hey, we have the champion.
first ever? We won the first ever in-season tournament?
It's a tournament in the NBC, and then it's over in December. What can that mean?
Nothing.
Are they going to put you in the playoffs? Do you get a playoff spot if you win this tournament? Then I'm buying in.
Can't do that because let's say we do that and the Lakers win, then they're just going to coast the rest of the way.
I know.
Yeah, and then they're going to tank the rest of the way they went. So can't do that.
Well, speaking of that in Wembanyama, I think, or Yama.
Try it again. It's not easy.
Victor
Wemby.
I'm against him. He's not getting Rookie of the Year, right? He's not going to play 65 games. There's no way.
Well, I mean, all in the name of player development, we really don't want to develop him. We don't want him.
Well, they
to
don't want to trot him out there 65
He's going to be
times.
Rookie of the Year.
He's not going to play enough games.
He'll play just enough, and the league wants him to be Rookie
They'll
of the
get
Year.
him 60, or they'll change it. You only need 62.
No, they
games.
won't do that. But I don't know. I mean, obviously, you know more about it than I do.
No,
I
I
think
don't.
he will.
I
be.
don't think I don't
Yeah.
know if Chet will play 65 games.
Chris
either.
Watkins, I do the show with on LM40. He's with you. He's like, he's not going to be Rookie of the Year.
Or then CW
But then
is my
who
man.
is? Chet Holmgren?
Oh,
Probably
no,
Scoot.
Scoot. Or one of the Thompson twins. I like the Thompson twins.
I like the Thompson
Yes,
twins.
I like the Thompson
Actually,
twins.
Deontay George.
Oh, right.
He
He
played.
was-
Yeah,
All,
he's played great with the
all
Jazz.
Summer League, yeah.
Yeah.
All Summer League. First team.
Baylor guy.
Yes.
He was good.
Mhm.
I mean, they're getting, Danny Ainge gets him late in the draft.
Yes, yeah,
He's way better than a bunch of guys in front of him.
yeah. I would bet you. I understand your point. I know Wemby.
Okay.
He didn't look really that great. And,
Oh,
it's
I
like the
wasn't
first
saying
game
because of that.
especially. Yeah.
I was thinking more of that has to play 65 games. I wasn't thinking the first game was kind of, and the second game was great, and I mean,
That's why
everything people said about him going in, you go, okay, that's right, and the negatives are right, and the positives are right, and the upside is incredible, and I hope it all works out. I just don't think they'll play him that much.
People are going to be. That's why you're going to go see the Spurs this year. And if he sits out that many games at your top, would that be 17?
17?
Yeah,
That's nothing.
There's going to be.
Well,
I went to see
it may
him.
not be a factor. He may be injured.
That's
many
that's
games.
yeah,
I'm-
certainly
that's
true.
true, but I'm not hoping for that.
No,
but
I'm not
that's
either.
True,
I
yeah.
want to see him, and I'm kind of like all you. I mean, to me, it's like sure, there's no reason for him not to be a major star. But having said that, let me ask you this, because I know you're a fan of a guy named Lou Alcindor.
I was a fan and remain a fan to this day
Now-
of him and his alter ego.
Yeah. Anyway, I just said if I watch Wembanyama, and I think okay, maybe he'll be an all-time great. But is he going to impact the league like Jabbar did in his rookie year?
No.
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
No. Well, but the other thing, I mean, I will say in his defense, Lou Alcindor was 22.
Yeah.
And Victor Wembanyama's 19. And Lou Alcindor could have affected the league when he was 19. Probably
Yeah.
could have. Probably could
Yeah,
have.
he could
But we're
have.
talking about, in our estimation, the greatest player that ever played. So I mean, it's
You also
a
have
little
to
bit
take into
unfair.
account TPF, the plumber factor. I'm kidding.
No.
No,
Well-
that was.
Well,
I'm kidding. I don't mean that.
Well, I mean, Jabbar, it's in the books. He improved the Bucks by
Yeah.
29 games.
Oh yeah, he
So-
was.
and won the title his second year. So
Second
that's a
year?
pretty good learning
That's-
curve.
Oh,
right
he
there.
was.
Yeah.
I can barely remember that, but he was the most dominant player I've ever seen. His second year when they went, they just beat everybody.
Yeah.
They were so good.
So
and he was
good.
unstoppable. Everyone said, "Oh, he's unstoppable." You could not stop him.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that Wembanyama maybe will be better down the road.
Who
a different,
knows?
different style of player, but like I say, just for how a guy can make you better.
Right now, yeah. I was a little worried about when he puts the ball on the floor at 7 foot, whatever he is.
Yeah.
7'3" and a.
You get NBA guys defending. There's a lot of room to get that ball away from him. And the spin move that looks kind of cool, in the European League, it doesn't exactly. It's not exactly, restaurant quality yet. Obviously, yet, but there's room for improvement.
Well, it's like
obviously.
somebody saying, "Boy, at 7'4", the way he can ball handle and stuff." And I said, "Yeah, it's really amazing." I said, "Every 6'7" guy in the league can do it better."
Yeah.
and take it away from him when he's trying
Yeah.
to do it too.
Yeah, it's a little bit like I always used to say, like George McGinnis back in his prime. People would say, "Oh man, it's amazing, 6'8", 9,
McGinnis,
250, all the stuff he can do with the ball." And I said, "Yeah, the average guard is better with it."
Yeah, but he couldn't pass it though. That's the thing, Jerry. He could
Oh,
do
he
everything
could.
with it but pass it.
It just didn't. His passer was broke. He broke it.
He's supposed to put the B for pass, and it was
no,
broken.
His
Big
passer.
George.
He broke his passer. I think his junior year in high school.
One thing I noticed about Wemby, it just in those two games, if the ball is anywhere near the rim and he's anywhere near the rim, don't give up on him. He had one he missed a shot from the baseline, and I put my head down like, oh, he missed a shot. I'm doing something.
Yeah.
And he gets the rebound on
Right.
the other side and
Yeah.
jams it, and somebody was boxing him out, and the poor guy was like 6'6" or something, and the shot goes up, and he goes up, tips it, and then before you can even see it, grabs it and dunks it so
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
That was one thing about him. Anywhere near the rim, he's lightning quick, getting the ball and putting it back in the
Well,
basket.
I think he may have more of an impact defensively than offensively early on.
Uh-huh.
I mean, because certainly a lot of his blocks are going to be help
Help defense.
and I mean he is so long. Can you imagine a 3-point shooter, thinking you got a shot in that big long?
Yeah, I think that happened in one of those games.
Against Brandon Miller. Yeah, that was one of the more impressive plays I saw.
Were you surprised that Pop signed up for, 5 more years? Now,
No.
he doesn't have to coach.
No, so he at any time probably he's president, so he can
slide up to
slide
upstairs
up to
anytime he
making
wants.
$18 million a year. It's a nice slide there.
It's nice when you're president. No, I think I'll go do this. Yeah, that's fine.
This ain't working out like I thought. Okay, I'll just be president. But no, if he wants to do it, and obviously expectations are probably going to be a little higher even for Pop than they were before.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting. But it's interesting to watch some of the rookies. Some like say Scoot just played the one game, and Wembanyama played 2, and of course Scoot was hurt, and the Miller kid was pretty underwhelming.
Yeah, we finished stronger, but especially here in the California Classic.
Yeah.
What about Chet Holmgren? Did you get a chance to see him play at all?
Yeah, I liked him a little better as it went. I think he's going to be a nice piece for him.
Yeah.
They've got stars. There's some guys better than,
which is
but I
great
think
for him. Yeah. So
for
he doesn't
him.
have to do that much
Yeah,
right away.
because I think he's a good passer. Good.
Did you see their other rookie Kason Wallace? I mean, he was really good too.
He's really good too.
Yeah.
So, you got to like them. I think they're a little scary. They've got some pieces there, and they were getting better as the year went on, and so it's interesting. I guess the team I don't quite understand at all is Portland, what they're doing or what they think they're doing.
Where do you think Dame's going to end up? What would you do with that Dame situation, Mr. Basketball?
I don't know what I would do with it, because it sounds like he and Harden both. It sounds like there's we're going to move these guys, and then I don't know if nobody wants them or nobody wants them at the price. Because if you're Portland, you've got to get a big haul back, and yet everybody on the other side of that big haul knows that he doesn't want to stay there, and you have to get rid of him probably for the health of your team. So I think they're in a really difficult situation, and I don't know that they'll have to end up taking back a little bit less than they want to take back, because the market is so narrow. I mean, all you hear is Miami. So I think they're in a very difficult situation. And if I'm Miami or somebody else, I'm patient. I'm waiting. I'm seeing what they have to do, because that price is going to keep going down, down, and down, I think.
Well, I think it's if I'm Portland, I sure don't trade him unless I want to trade him for what I get. You're not obligated just because you're paying him $60 million a year to play basketball.
Portland, I think, can afford to be patient because they don't really have any expectations this year.
Right.
Miami, on the other hand, at some point it's going to be, if he's going to come here, we got to get him in here.
Yeah, and what pieces do they have now? I mean, that's the way I look at it. It's like, short of Jimmy Butler and Caleb Martin,
the only pieces they have are the ones they don't want to give.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I just don't see how it gets done. If I'm Portland, I'm not going to accept a bunch of future picks.
Right.
There was a report from the Blazers beat writer last Friday, I think. He said, from what he hears, a lot of it's done, the negotiations. Doesn't mean they'll finish it, but they've agreed on like 3 picks. And I think Caleb Martin might be a hang-up. It's like, because Portland's like, we want him. And they're like, well, we don't want to give him. But they're close. They've got agreement on, I don't know, I guess it'd be like 75% of the package. So they still got some ways to go. But it looks like at this point, it looks like 3 picks they've agreed on. And then there's a Tyler Hero thing where, like, Miami wants to give Tyler Hero up. Portland's like, we don't want him.
They don't need
So they have to get
Tyler
somebody
Hero.
else involved.
Yeah.
In which case, if the other draft pick comes from that other team, then maybe they have a deal.
Yeah,
So-
I would think, if I'm another team, I'd love to get Tyler Hero. I don't think there's not too many teams that couldn't use that guy. So if you can get something back that Portland wants for Hero, then you might have a deal.
Yeah.
But I think Tyler is one of those guys that's kind of being forgot in this thing a little bit. He's a darn nice player.
He's a bucket getter.
He's a bucket getter, and then some, and young and getting better. If you're the Kings, I'd love to get him. He no disrespect to Herter, but that's he's better than.
Would you give up a first-round pick to get him?
Oh, hell yes.
Yeah.
In a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mr. Basketball?
I don't know. I'm thinking about it from Miami point of view. I mean, if Hero, it sounds like they want to get rid of Hero, obviously, and then Caleb Martin is a sticking
Well,
point.
as Bill Simmons said, they without Hero, they got to the finals.
Yeah,
Like,
but they're also without Vincent now, and you've got Strus too. So they've can't give away too much of their
That's
cupboard.
a good point.
So they can't.
That's why he's Mr. Basketball.
Well, I mean, and that's why if it's just Caleb Martin, and I say just Caleb Martin and Tyler Hero in picks, I think maybe they're prone to go ahead and do that, pull the trigger on that. And as far as getting Dave Lillard in there, and you still got Butler and you still got Bam. So I mean,
the problem though is that cap-wise, can they do that? Can they take?
Jerry,
60?
remember the simpleton? I don't understand that stuff anymore, Jerry. Remember?
Well, no, I'm
basketball for dummies, my friend.
I mean, I don't do a lot of math, but 60 and then basically 30. They have to have about $30 million in cap.
Just say times 2. It's all even. Don't worry.
Well, okay, then we'll do it that way.
Yeah,
we got to run. Can you believe it?
What?
The time has flown by. I hopefully won't be.
We didn't even solve Dame. We didn't get him traded. We didn't solve anything.
No, we didn't solve. No, what's going on here?
I know. Well,
can't we do more?
I
came all the way over here.
Yeah. I mean, he'll be
all
hurt.
Right, we can
he
do
might
a couple
be
minutes
hurt.
overtime.
He might be hurt.
I got a hammy that might go. I got to get going now.
Yeah, we can go like 5 minutes overtime, I guess. What do you think, Stones? Yeah. It's his house.
Okay, I guess it's his studio is what it is. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. What didn't we get to that you want to get to?
I don't even know. I don't know what we talked about. I forgot.
Okay.
Well, what
about the beard? Where does the beard go? I think the beard.
Yeah,
you said people don't want him. I think you wondered, do people want Lillard? Do they want Harden?
Yes, I do.
I don't think a lot of teams want James Harden.
No, I don't.
Now.
No, I don't either. I think that I always thought that the deal that Houston was trying to get Harden was Harden's agent and him making that up.
I don't think it was Houston, huh? Yeah, it doesn't make sense for Houston.
It doesn't make any sense for Houston. Of course, by the way, I still think, come to think of a lot of things don't make sense for Houston. They signed, Fred Van Vliet to like $100 million.
Yeah.
Fred Van Vliet?
I know. I'm with you.
Fred Van Vliet?
And then let's get Dylan Brooks, too.
Remember, the new thing, take the money away.
Yeah, I know.
Put Fred Van Vliet on Houston with one of the Thompson twins.
Yeah.
Okay. And Jalen Green.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a big passer.
Pevin Porter Jr.
I guess. Well, not a big passer.
No.
They're all got
Jabari Smith Jr.
They got who looked pretty good at the times I saw him.
Yeah.
He looked like he might make the improvement that we're expecting Keegan to make as well. And Jabari, I don't think was as accomplished last year as Keegan was. So maybe it's a little more obvious.
Alperen Şengün, put him in there.
Yeah, there you go.
It doesn't. They got too
many.
But
they do have too many guys whose George McGinnis passer is broken.
Yeah, that's
why
they
need to get a couple of guys.
I understand that they feel like, well, if we're going to get better, they want some veteran guys. They're trying to do that, and Van Vliet's a tough little buckaroo, but I mean, I just don't get it.
I don't either.
But at least they're bringing in an older guy to try to help.
Yeah, if you bring Van Vliet in and say, okay, 2 years at $30 million total.
I see what you're saying.
$15 million a year. Okay, I'm on board with that. But they're committed to a lot of money. Then how about some other contracts? It's like I mean,
this is the Reynolds rapping now.
Reynolds spitting. It's contract talk.
I know it's passed me by. There's no doubt. But Desmond Bane, $200 million. Now Desmond is really good.
Yes,
but how many years has he been really good? Or even the best.
1.5. He was hurt. He's been hurt.
Yeah, he had a kind of a near all-star kind of year.
Yeah,
and so
near all-star kind of year.
The kind of promise is there that it could be more. So maybe you're paying for the promise.
Well, you clearly are.
Yeah,
you're paying $100 and some million.
That's a lot of promise right there. Yeah, that's a promise.
Yeah, those are the kind of things.
What about Jakob Poeltl? I know you like him, but $20 million for Jakob Poeltl?
Not for me.
Not for me. That's the one that got me. And I know he's an efficient player, an effective player at $9.5 million a year.
Your contempt for him is obvious every time you say his name.
I know you
spit his
name. I like to say Jakob Poeltl.
Well, now let me just ask you as Mr. Basketball.
That's me.
Okay. Jakob Poeltl at $20 million, Mason Plumlee at $4 or whatever he got. I think Plumlee's a better player.
I get 5 Plumlees for one.
Miles, Mason, Marty.
Yeah.
You give me Jimmy Plumlee?
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of Plumlees.
Mickey Plumlee?
I like Plumlee. The one that played for the Clippers.
Yeah, I know.
I was afraid I'd go out and get the wrong one. And I'd get him into camp. Oh, I wanted your brother. I'm sorry. That's my bad.
Well, you could get them both for that price.
I could get the whole family for the Poeltl price.
So anyway, I don't get that one. I mean, Poeltl's a good player. I mean, I know.
You
don't mind having him, but
That's what it's. Yeah, you get how much do they pay him? $20 million for a guy that
4 years, $80 million.
In the opinion of a guy who was a GM, you don't mind having him.
Well,
like,
you don't
he's
mind
great.
having him for
Like,
20.
Yeah,
But if you're going to throw 200 to Bain, I guess.
Well,
it
I mean,
doesn't
if you
matter.
just
I understand.
just
Yeah.
on the basis of tell me all the best centers in the league. And,
Yeah.
and
Tell me when you get to his name.
Yeah, tell me when you get to his name. I mean,
Buzzer went off. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
right in the middle of a great Jerry point too.
that was yeah.
I'm going to let you finish the point, and then we got to go, Jerry. That's
Jeez,
it.
I didn't realize that. Just
I guess
in 5 minutes.
He's got to be somewhere. I guess.
I guess so.
What happened in the
Well,
car
now-
show?
now that he's got a job.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I do this all the time. I do it for a living. I
It's
can't
like
talk to you
a
guys.
job.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
You wouldn't mind having him on the air, would you?
No,
He's the Jacob Pirtle of KCK.
at a certain price.
I can get 4 Plumleys on the air for one Whitey.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you get 3 or 4 Phantoms on the air.
Well, you don't want 3 or 4 Phantoms. Well, 2 of them will be injured, so you got to get 2 of them on the
Well,
air.
that's what I say. You have to have at least 2
You got to have somebody to back up.
to get somebody to show up.
Who's your team that you think has done things right, or at least gotten your attention this year, off season?
Ooh.
Yeah. And then I mean, Stones has to. It's his house. He's got stuff he's got to do.
Well,
What does he do?
he ain't got nothing to do.
He got a Potters game in 48 hours. He's not doing anything.
We could be here till Tuesday.
He's gotta
I would
watch the
say
Giants
a
game.
team that some of their moves to me, I think they make some sense here. I'm not sure how it's all going to fit together, but I'm a little wary of Dallas Mavericks.
I like what Dallas has done. I like, really, sadly, and I hate to say this, really, Lakers. I mean,
Jerry, come on.
See, if we'd stopped when I wanted to stop, that wouldn't have come out.
He was right again.
Yeah.
I wonder he's got a job.
Oh, God.
Well, it's
yeah.
like a
Ridiculous.
job.
So it's like a job, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I just, Gabe Vincent, what a great pickup for them.
They had no money. They got him. I have no idea how they got him.
Well, I mean, all I know is Gabe Vincent's making about half what Jacob Pirtle's
Jakob Pirtle. You don't mind having Gabe.
and a third of what Fred Van Vliet's
Oh,
making.
my
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
Fred VanVleet.
Anybody stick out to you?
Well, I was
Not to put you on the
wondering how you
spot.
guys would think about the Bradley Beal at point guard thing.
I think
Because,
you have to have a point guard, and if you trot him out there, you can call him one.
But he's not.
He ain't never been and
No.
never will be.
Your guy Eddie Johnson, I heard him today on the radio. They were talking about that, and he's the Suns broadcaster. He
Yeah.
says they're not done yet.
Oh, they can't be,
Yeah, so
They're not
and he
done
also
yet.
said there's a guy they got in the Beal deal, Goodwin. He said, "Oh, they like the
Yeah,
kid.
he wants to
yeah.
be a backup. I
Yeah,
think.
Goodwin's
but
been
he-
in the league
yeah,
a little
kind
bit.
of
they have
unproven,
a
though.
couple exceptions. We're talking about the exceptions.
Oh,
Eddie
yeah.
Johnson says they're not
Right.
done yet, so maybe they go out and grab a PPG, pure point guard.
Yeah, I don't know.
Luke Ridnour's available, so
Yeah, and there's a reason for that. 41-year-old Luke Ridnour.
yeah. And I'm sorry that we.
All right, I know you got to go and rest for tomorrow's show on your real sort of like a job. So okay,
Luke Ridnour, boy, that's a name of the past.
yeah, it
isn't
really is.
Yeah.
He's a good. He make a lot
Maybe
of
they're bringing
layups.
over the Spanish chocolate or whatever.
Oh yeah,
Sergio
Sergio Rodriguez, white
yeah.
chocolate. Yeah,
Yeah.
He's probably got one little.
I'll give you another one. Steve Blake was a pretty good pure
Out
point
of Maryland?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was.
yeah,
He
he
sure
was a good
was.
guy.
Yeah,
He had a really good career.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, I think it's time to go.
yeah, I think we've.
The Steve Blake alarm just went
That's
off.
how I know how to end the
Yeah.
shows. Here's another guy who was a pure point guard.
And,
yeah.
Yeah, if anybody's left watching, yeah, I know.
Thank
Ramon Sessions?
Ramon Sessions.
Ramon
sure.
Sessions,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
He's another one like Marco Bellinelli. He was good everywhere but with us.
Yeah.
A lot of that going around in those.
Yeah, he had a pretty
Yeah.
good career. Just,
Uh-huh, yeah. Well, it's good to be back with you gentlemen again.
I guess you couldn't get out here fast enough, so
Yeah.
we're going to get in the car.
We'll
Yeah.
see you next time.
He's got something.
He's got
planned.
something.
Whatever
to
that
do.
may be. I got to watch the Summer League Championship game.
That's okay. That's all right. My back's
See you
starting to hurt
next time on
anyway.
the
Yeah,
old-fashioned
I'm starting to get a
three.
little pain right here.
Oh.
Thank you for joining the Old Fashioned 3 on Stones Radio Networks. To stay updated on the show, like and subscribe on YouTube, and all shows are available for download on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts, and of course at stonesradionetworks.com. Follow the show and the gents on Twitter at OL, Fashioned, and the number 3, at Phantom Radio 60, and at Whitey Gleason. This has been a production of Stones Radio Networks.